Hello and welcome to day 29 of the CoronaBLOG, April the 29th. My name's Mark Brophy. Here's some background information and what I currently do. Today we're continuing with our interviews of around the world, a series of different interviews, different countries. Today's country is Germany. We're going to look at the current situation, the help that the German government state is giving to business and families. On day 21, we looked at Germany in the context of women leaders. We saw Angela Merkel was responsible for factor one. There were four factors for women leaders. Factor one was truth. Angela Merkel told the country, it's serious, take it seriously. Could affect up to 70% of the population, she said. So Germany immediately skipped three phases. Denial, it's not going to happen here. Anger, people got angry in other countries. And disingenuousness, that's a very difficult word, disingenuousness. People not really understanding and being a little bit, let's say, not so serious. Result, Germany has suffered far less than the other big EU countries and is now considering reopening. Here we go. So the questions will be, name the occupation, whereabouts in Germany, what financial assistance has been offered to companies, to self-employed people, to families. Based in Italy, we have a small problem about, we think, the fact that Germany is giving some conditional money is creating a problem. We would prefer Corona bonds. And what two things would he like to do when lockdown is over? Good afternoon, and here we are today about to interview somebody from another country. So continuing our series of Corona blogs around the world. Hello, good afternoon. Can you tell me your name and what you do for a living?
I'm Patrick Mustu. I'm a lawyer, language trainer and translator.
Okay, and where do you live?
I live in Düsseldorf, Germany.
Okay, so that's in the north of Germany, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. So, in Germany, we've seen that the Germans have been quite organized in dealing with coronavirus compared to other countries such as Italy, France, Spain, and the UK. But in terms of help to the economy, what has Germany done? That's what we want to talk about today. Specifically, how has the German state or the regions, the Länder, helped the companies?
Well, the German government has something which they call a Corona shield or protective shield. And one of the beneficiaries are companies. So there's a couple of things which are available under the shield. One is loans, depending on the size of the company, up to 1 billion euros they can get in low interest loans, basically provided by the government. Small companies can also get subsidies which are not repayable. So this is basically a gift and a one-off payment. But small companies means you only have up to 10 employees. So anything above that, small, medium-sized, large companies, they can get loans. Another thing they can do is they can enjoy something which is called short-time work, which is basically a layoff of employees without terminating their employment contract. And then the government basically pays 67% of their lost net income. So the companies can reduce the working hours of their employees as needed, down to zero if necessary. And then the government will pay 67% of their lost net income, and this works for up to 12 months. And I read a figure that 55% of the companies in Germany have taken advantage of this. So they have reduced the working hours of their staff as needed, in some cases down to zero. And they are enjoying this at the moment. So these are basically...
Okay, sorry, could I just check one thing you said? You said for a period of up to 12 months.
That's correct.
Okay, very interesting.
That's right. Just as needed. If necessary, the companies can take advantage of this for a maximum period of 12 months. or return to normal work, if it's possible after the lockdown.
Okay, and moving on from companies now, let's look at self-employed people. So what help have self-employed people received from the government?
Yeah. Theoretically, self-employed people can also take out loans, but this, of course, only applies to people who really, really need a lot of money. To freelancers or single self-employed people, sole practitioners, this is not really necessary. And those people can get a subsidy, which is a one-off payment, up to 9,000 euros, but it's quite restrictive, because you are only supposed to use that money for your business expenses, and the subsidy is not designed to make up for lost income. Okay. So it's not to make up for lost income. It's only basically to make up for a liquidity shortfall you might experience in terms of your business.
Okay, thank you. And now for families. What help have families received?
Well, families have not received any one-off payments or any financial support as such. However, what is available to families is what is called basic income support here. So if they really fall below a certain income threshold, they can get some benefits from the state, which basically operates under social welfare law. What they can also get is if they have to take care of their children and they can't work because the school has been closed or the kindergarten has been closed, and they have no person who can take care of their kids, and they stay at home because of that, they also can get money from the state. Again, that is the 67% of their lost net income. That also applies to these people who have to take care of children, but the children must be under the age of 12. If the child is not under the age of 12, it can take care of him or herself.
Okay. And a very difficult question now, a little bit of politics. In Italy, where we are speaking from, there has been a request for lots of money from Europe. And the Italians feel that specifically two countries, namely Germany and Holland, could do more to help. What's the German view on this situation?
Well, the attitude to help and the solidarity has always been there. There's been just disagreement on what measures we should resort to and what mechanisms and instruments we should use. Some countries, including Italy and France, they would like to get something called Corona bonds, where European countries as a whole issue bonds and basically are liable for the debts of all other countries. Some countries, for example, Germany, the Netherlands, and Austria, they prefer using the European Stability Mechanism, the ESM, and the European Investment Bank, and they have already made money available. But it's not a question of attitudes that Germany doesn't want to help. It's just a question of what means we should resort to. So whether it's the Eurobonds or the Corona bonds, which were also discussed during the last financial crisis for Greece, at the end of the day, these Eurobonds did not come about. They used the European Stability Mechanism for that. And Germany and the Netherlands and Austria, they just would like to use these mechanisms, whereas Italy and some other countries would like to see these Corona bonds. So there's no disagreement on that Europe should show solidarity, and Germany as well, but it's the question, which instruments will we be using for that? And that's the
okay. Thank you. And just before we finish, quick personal question. What one or two things are you most looking forward to doing when you can get back to some form of normality?
Well, I'm a big movie fan, so I would really love to go to the movies again. And the other thing I would like to do is I would like to see my parents again.
Okay. Thanks very much for your time, Patrick, and good luck with everything in Germany. Thank you again.
Cheers.
Well, his name is Patrick, and he's a lawyer and legal English teacher based in Düsseldorf in the north of Germany. Companies have been promised loans and have been promised assistance for employees covering 67% of salaries for 12 months. Yes, up to 12 months. Self-employed people have been promised up to €9,000, but only to cover expenses, not to cover loss of income. Families have been given help with young children, especially very young children and children under the age of 12. Financing for Europe, yes, but. So yes, Germany, along with Austria and the Netherlands, are happy to offer financial support, but there must be some conditions. What two things does he want to do? Well, he's a movie fan, so get back to the cinema and also to visit his family, his parents. Germany has a population of 83 million. As of yesterday, only 6,215 deaths, far lower than France, Spain, Italy, and the UK. And here we can see the daily new cases in Germany. Here is the perfect situation where we had a peak 3 or 4 weeks ago, and it's now coming back down. For today then, we've looked at Germany, quick look at Angela Merkel, an interview with Patrick Musto, and we've looked at new cases and recovery.